Too often I see people afraid of the things they've never done before. Same kind of people that find a comfortable zone to live in and then hang out in the center of it and stay away from the edges of that zone where the unfamiliar is. Whatever's in front of you, think about all the options. Spend a bit of time considering all the angles and see everything from a new set of eyes as many times as you can. Even a brief moment of consideration may suffice. Don't fear the things that you've never done. Simply consider it. Don't let fear paralyze you. I see this all the time, and I'm trying to stop it. I had this room above my garage for many years. It always was an eyesore. The drywall was twisted, nails were popping out, and tape was showing. The old rug made the stairs look tacky, and the room was always looked unusable. The one fan was never enough to keep it cool, and the light from that fan was never enough to light the entire room. It was always the occasional thought that I would fix the ceiling one day, just patch the holes, put new mud on it, match the pattern, and paint. Maybe even install some brighter lights, then call it good. A mediocre answer at best. Many times I would go up to the room above my garage and just stand there and look at it and think about what to do with it. Then one of those times as I stood there just staring at it and thinking, I realized I'd always only considered it the way that it was. I then began to think of what I thought it actually could be. I'm not a great carpenter. Sure, I'm a bit of a jack of all trades, but carpentry is not really where my true skills lie, yet I certainly don't fear it. Being the best at any one thing is great, but being decent at a great many things can be beneficial too. I've collected the tools to do many things over the years, and I had the tools to do this job, so I started. The room above the garage like this one is called a frog, or finished room above garage. It's also sometimes called the bonus room. Technically, it can't be called a bedroom because it doesn't have a closet. And I didn't actually particularly want a bedroom up there, though I could have built a tiny closet and made it into one. It had a long history of being many different things. It used to be a roommate's room, then it was a small craft room, then a photo room, then it was just a room where our dog could run around on. The headspace issue was a pretty big deal. I want to talk about millennials today. Think of the last time you heard how bad millennials are. It probably wasn't that long ago. Think of the last time you saw a video about some young person who was lazy or out of touch with the real world. Again, probably a pretty recent event. We hear frequently that millennials are crying over something trivial. They don't know what real work is like. They don't know what the real world is like. That they are delicate snowflakes. They're irresponsible, etc., etc. What you should remember is that when you are used to seeing something over and over again, just seeing it the way that you're perceiving it might not actually be the reality of the big picture. You might know one millennial whose actions are poor, but does that mean all of them are? There are likely hardworking young people all around you, quietly working away on their passions and their dreams, pushing the limits and striving for new achievements. Sometimes those achievements are to build a new office like this one, or build a side business, or change careers, or raise a good child. Some of these stereotypes are just terrible. As a millennial myself, I get a twinge of irritation with the negative stereotypes. Sure, some of them have validity, but so do many stereotypes. That doesn't make it right to systematically categorize someone or a subgroup of people. I work my hands to the bone, then I work my brain to exhaustion, then I sleep, and I repeat. I'll teach my children these habits. What will you do? I have some personal mottos I live by. Work hard. A 12-hour workday really isn't that long. If you have a 9-to-5 job, you actually only work for 8 hours. So think of how much you can get done in that extra time in between. Hardworking people gravitate towards others who are hardworking. Find those people out there that are like you in that way. If you're not like that in enough a way that you think you should be, you're the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So find some better people to hang out with. Gravitate towards them, and maybe you'll pick up some of their good habits. Something else I always try to strive for is to work smart. You can be the best at a thing, but be humble enough to try and get good at other things. Don't fear change, simply think about it. Be smarter. Also be open-minded. Other options may present themselves to you. A closed mind will never even consider them. A closed mind would have just seen the ceilings in this room and said, I'll just patch the holes. But an open mind would have asked, what else can be done? Along those same lines, question everything. Question the truth to this idea that millennials are the worst generation out there. Who told you that? Why do you believe them? What have you experienced, and is that a representative of the whole? Do you know one young kid and see them as lazy? Is that your entire sample size? How about, do you know 100? Is that a good enough sample size either? 100? Surely it's got to be. It might not be. Sure, sometimes it's a good idea to trust your gut in some things. Sometimes it's entirely wrong. I know plenty of people out there who are just like me, who want to work and plan just like I did for this room, who have a goal in life. That's what I do. And the goals that I have end up with things like this. I made this pretty much all myself, minus the floor guys. It's not too bad, I don't think. But then again, I made it. It's all mine. So I think it's pretty damn good.